Y'all, Wizard101 just had a massive first week on console, including already their first maintenance. So today, we are going to be talking about everything that you need to know about the latest patch to console servers that just went live, and everything that's happened this week, because it's been a crazy week for this game. So this patch, right, yesterday, Wizard101 posted on all socials that console servers were going to go down. This maintenance period only lasted a couple of hours, but the issue that they were aiming to fix was a big one, y'all. It was a server lag that a lot of people reported encountering when they were playing Wiz on console for the first time. This is true whether you were on PlayStation or Xbox. A lot of people were logging onto the game and they were experiencing a ton of lag, something that could only be resolved if they moved to a much emptier realm or turned off crossplay. Now, ever since this patch went out, it looks like a lot of people were reporting way less lag. If you're logging onto servers and still experiencing lag, I do recommend still switching to an emptier server or turning off crossplay in your setting. But for the most part, that big issue that I want to say like 90% of people were encountering, it's probably more or less resolved, and it should get better as time goes on. Now, while obviously that is something to celebrate in itself, I also wanted to look at the timeline on all of this because it's very interesting compared to how PC servers work. So this screenshot is a message from someone that directly works high up on Wizard101 2 days ago. They had collected a lot of feedback. Obviously, a ton of people were experiencing a bunch of lag. This from 2 days ago is a dev using their dev tools to play the game and playing a build essentially that fixed this issue. Now, in the same message, they said they're going to be sending this new build, I guess, over to whoever at PlayStation or Xbox controls the patch, and they expected anywhere from 3 to 10 days for this patch to go live. That was, I guess, their base expectation. Maybe just the expectation that we should all have if we were looking at, like, you know, a timeline for when to expect console patches. But here's the part that gets really crazy. Not even a full 24 hours after that message, they already knew that the patch was going to go through and announced it on the Wizard101 Discord. And now, 48 hours after that message, there's a fully playable version of console with very little lag. I think there is a massive takeaway there. Their timeline for changes probably is a lot quicker than we're used to for PC, at least for things that make the game very unplayable, because I think they were taking the console launch mad serious. But let's dig a little deeper and talk about why so much of this lag happened. Was it just Wiz having bad servers? While I'm sure it's something that probably could have been resolved a little bit better on Wiz's end, like all companies that do launches like this, it does also seem like it's a server population thing. Now that we're a week into Wiz's official launch on console, we have a lot of numbers, and the numbers are looking kind of ridiculous. One, just a couple of days into the official launch, Wiz was trending on the PSN store. And now we also have actual numbers. On PlayStation, Wizard101 was in the top 20 of downloaded games. It was much lower on Xbox. It was like number 150 something. I don't know why there's such a big discrepancy, but regardless, this is very massive for a game that spent more than 15 years not on console, right? It's very massive. There have also been screenshots of a bunch of people getting queued into 1,000-long lines. Now, this is also an issue that I'm expecting they'll resolve as time goes on, hopefully with the same timeline that it took for them to like resolve the initial lag. But these screenshots are showing numbers that are ridiculous. Like, people are 4,000, 5,000 in line in the queue to play on these servers. Now, while there's still no way to tell how many of these people are going to be long-term players, how many of them actually, you know, made a purchase at the paywall, which they first encounter now in the Oasis, right? Those types of numbers are going to take probably a long time for even KingsIsle to have, and it's up to them whether we'll even get information on that or not. But it is still massive momentum, right? They're one, experiencing a lot more people playing the game than they expected, and they're also in a very rapid way trying to, like, you know, make the lag problems that's caused by such a big population a lot better. I really hope they use the momentum to their advantage, right? If they end up having like way more revenue than usual, I hope they put that right back into advertising for people to buy even more things on Wiz on console. I hope that they have more free-to-play periods. I'm still very surprised that while, yes, all the way through Wizard City is free. That is something that most people that have played this game for a while have learned to celebrate. But yet, I'm still surprised that more of at least the first arc isn't free. They basically did a $20 for the whole first arc, which is still a heavily discounted way to buy it. But I don't know. I feel like they should definitely do that. It is worth mentioning that now officially the first timed events have started happening on console. And what I mean by that, right? Since the patch that happened last night, we have like Pet Promenade Decathlon on PC servers. We also also have them on console. What this could mean is that they could start rolling out things like member benefits as well, especially once people start buying member. I still think that's going to happen as time goes on, as more people encounter the paywall for the first time. But I really hope that they're more generous with those as well. If they're not going to make more areas free for the launch, at least if you're one of the first people to be a member on Wizard101 console servers, I feel like you should be throwing so many member benefits your way. It should feel like their birthday month all over again. Now, as if all of this wasn't enough, they also did an interview, which I've basically taken some excerpts of for this video, but it looks like the timing of the console launch was actually very, very intentionally done right before Darkmoor test ROM drop. And what I think their goal is, to make it so that there's a big influx of players that actually play on console and also get to experience a new world very, very early doors. We already have maxes on these servers, believe it or not. So now, not only do we have people that are the first to like hit max level, they'll also probably, maybe slightly delayed, but I doubt that delayed compared to PC, experience a whole brand new world update. And in this interview, they also included this teaser. It looks to be some sort of like, you know, horse-drawn carriage, but it's whatever beast like, you know, is in Darkmoor, not a horse. But it looks like these people that seem to be more like outsiders to the, you know, really like, you know, royal part of the Darkmoor society. They're looking at the castle in the distance, almost in a very, very worried way. And I think this further paints this picture of like some kind of divided society that Wiz is really gonna have to dig deep into with this whole Darkmoor plotline that they're building. If y'all have been living under a rock, the whole point of us even visiting Darkmoor presumably is to investigate another Earthborn, someone that's in the spiral from Earth, but they took a much, much darker path. And I think it's only reasonable that they probably saw a lot of ugly things if we're going back to Darkmoor to visit their origin. They did note that they're doing a lot of things differently with Darkmoor compared to other arcs. Who knows what they mean by different? I do think it's gonna probably be darker. The fact that they chose Darkmoor, and by darker, I don't just mean like light. Like, I think they're gonna have to acknowledge at some point, right, that a lot of the people that played this game were young adults. Like, we're like 18 plus at this point. And while I don't think they need to throw away the family-friendly vision that they have, I do think the plotline can become a little bit more mature. And can I be honest, y'all? The last time that they really did this was probably when Azteca and Chrysalis came out. And while I'm not gonna sing the praises for those worlds, I think the pacing in terms of the PvE and also like just how crazy the boss fights started getting, I don't think those are like really big strengths. In fact, I still think that Azteca and Chrysalis are on the docket for a whole ass audit in terms of like the quest line, in terms of the difficulty, in terms of the tediousness. But if you could look past all of that, right, you're looking at some really, really goated storyline, right? Morganthe learning the Song of Creation from the Aztecasaurs and literally destroying the world in the process, and Chrysalis being this really, really desolate world that fights against the darkness in a way that honestly I don't even think I could fully appreciate at the time that I originally played it. Like, I'm replaying it recently, and oh my god, man, it's all about having hope when it's the darkest. Like, I don't know, to me it's really, really well written. The stakes are very, very high. It kind of treats the player like an adult, and I think with this new era that they're really going for, with this influx of console players and just more people coming back to the game after a long time, after when they were kids. But I think it's a very intended decision. I think we're going to be seeing a plotline that reflects on Wiz acknowledging their player base a little bit more in terms of the fact that they're adults. And I think them doing that all at the same time, I don't think it's unintentional at all. I think we're gonna start talking about Wizard101 as what it was before console launch and what it's become after. To me, it seems like that's what they're doing. I hope what that means is we'll get some really cool plot. We'll get some really, really high quality servers that actually reflect all the enthusiasm around it. I'll say this for sure, while the earliest signs show that they're taking a lot of the feedback mad seriously, a lot of these things only work in the long term. So hopefully the energy that they're giving to console, it continues. The energy they're giving to Darkmoor, it continues. But I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on everything that's happened this week. What do y'all think about the lag? How quickly they've reacted to it? Was it fast enough for y'all? And what do y'all think about what they could do to make console launch even better, including what they could do to Darkmoor, which should be reaching console servers around the time it reaches PC, which could be a massive opportunity to really show what this game is all about to a bunch of new players. I look forward to reading all of y'all's thoughts. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this update, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about all the things that led to the most recent maintenance and all the recent Darkmoor news. Let me know y'all's thoughts, y'all. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and as always, if somebody hasn't told you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome. See y'all soon. And yeah.